We have been discussing from third canto, starting from chapter 5 onwards. We have been discussing about the creation of the universe. In chapter 5, we discussed about how Mahavishnu created the 24 elements along with the 14 devatas, and they offered praise to Lord Vishnu, saying that please engage us in your service. So, in order to engage them in a particular service, in the 6th chapter, by entering into those 24 elements as cohesive energy, Vibhu Shakti, the Supreme Lord combined all the elements and from that combination created unlimited Brahmandas. Then he himself entered into each and every Brahmanda as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then in each and every universe, he created the universal form. So that what these principal devatas and other devatas and all other living entities supposed to do in future, how they can accomplish their activities, a proper system has been established by Garbhodakshaya Vishnu himself. And then in the 7th chapter, Vidura asks so many relative questions, relevant questions in order to understand the subject matter more in more details. As an answer to all of them, Srila Maitreya Rishi said that I need to speak to Bhagavatam. Only Bhagavatam can answer all your questions. And this Bhagavatam I have received from my Guru Parashara, who received from his Guru Sankyana Rishi, who received from his Guru Chatush Kumaras, who received this Bhagavatam from their Guru Lord Sankarshana. So that's how they said. And in that Bhagavatam, there is a discussion about what happened then. So after the Lord created the universal form in a subtle way, then Lord wanted to further the creation. Then he looked into his own abdomen, that is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Looking into his own abdomen, he manifested a beautiful lotus coming out of his beautiful navel. And then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu himself expands as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, enters into that lotus as it is the Paramatma. Then on top of that lotus there appears Brahma. So Brahma, after appearing on top of the lotus, is looking around to understand where is he, who is he, what's happening all around. As he wanted to see in four directions, he manifested four heads. Then he looked downward, there he saw fearful water, the turbulent water. So he saw turbulent water. In the middle of that water, there is a beautiful lotus on top of which he himself is situated. And surrounding the lotus, there is beautiful, there is a fearful wind, and that is situated in the ether. So, like that, these things he saw. Then he wanted to understand where from this lotus is coming up. He went inside the tubes of the lotus, trying to understand the source of the lotus. He failed. 100 years passed. He came up. He realized that he needed to perform tapasya like he performed previous days. He performed tapasya. As a result of that, he had a beautiful darshan of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. There is a beautiful description of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's darshan form. And then Brahmaji offers prayers and requests for empowerment to do his service. Then Lord Vishnu empowers Brahma by giving some nice instructions. And one of the instruction is please perform tapasya. By performing tapasya, you will understand what you are supposed to do, and you will also understand how you are supposed to do. Everything will be understood by doing tapasya. So don't worry. You do your service, I will take care of you. I will protect you in all circumstances. Like that, Lord Vishnu assured and disappeared from the vision of, from the darshan, from the audience of Brahmaji. Then what happened? After the disappearance of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, what happened? How did Brahma, being empowered by the Lord, by Supreme Lord Vishnu, created within this universe? That is the subject matter of chapter 10, chapter 12, and chapter 20. These three chapters are exclusively talking about what and how Brahmaji did creation. And in between, we also have 11th chapter, which talks about the time. And afterwards, we also hear about one beautiful pastime of Lord Varaha. That and all will come in the in sequence. So today we'll discuss from chapter 10. In the 10th chapter, the 10 types of bodies produced by dividing elements starting with Prakriti and the general characteristics of time are described. So we'll see what exactly they are, etc. So is everyone able to see the slides?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on. This is the old one. So this chapter has got, this is one of the small chapters in third canto, 30 verses only, but a very important chapter. Kindly pay attention to it. Let us discuss everything in detail. Having described the primary creation of our Sarga, now the secondary creation or Visarga described summarily and explained in detail in the coming chapters 12 and 20. So in this chapter, Maitreya Rishi gives a brief summary of what Brahma did, and the details of that will be explained in 12th and 20th chapter. So the next two chapters will go in great details, but this chapter there is a brief discussion of what is coming up, about to come. So Vidura asked the same question: what did you do after Lord's disappearance? So in that way, Vidura uvacha
Vidura Uvacha
अंतर्हिते भगवती ब्रह्मा, sorry,
Antarhi
अंतर्हिते भगवती
Antarhate Bhagavati
ब्रह्मा लोका पितामहा
Brahma Loka Pitamaha
प्रजा ससर्ज कटिदा
Praja Sasarga Kathida
दैहिकीर्मानसेर्विभू.
Daihiki Manase Vibhu. Sri Vidura said, O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of planetary inhabitants, create the bodies of living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So Vidura is asking that, oh great sage Maitreya, please let me know what types of offsprings Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, Brahma Loka Pitamaha. Brahma is considered to be the Pitamaha of the entire universe, created from his own body and mind. Dehikir Manaser. So whatever Brahma creates, many of the creations happened from his mind alone, and other creations happened from his various bodily limbs. So we'll get more details about this in the 12th chapter. In this chapter, whatever is being said, they are all done by mind only. Brahmaji would do based on his contemplation. And in the later on, 12th chapter, we'll understand 12th and other 20th chapter, we'll understand that how from Brahma's body so many creations took place. After the disappearance of the Lord, after Lord disappeared, what did Brahma do? How did he create? That is the whole idea. एच मे भगवन् पृष्टास् Hare Krishna, someone please.
Echa me Bhagavan Prusta
त्वयि अर्ता बहुवित्तमा
Tvai Harta Bahuvittama
तान् वदस्वानुपूर्वेण
Tanvadasvanu Purvena
छिन्दीना सर्वसंशयान्.
Chindina Sarva Samshayan. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to end. Hare Krishna.
O greatly learned master, please speak, Vadaswa, about all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end. Please remove all my doubts. So here he had said only one doubt, one question only. So please tell me what did Brahma do after Lord's disappearance? But in the 7th chapter, Vidura asked many questions. So answering this question, may you please also answer the previous questions also. Do not forget them. Like that, Vidura is reminding Maitreya. You know everything, therefore speak. So you are, it is said that, he said that Bhagavan Bahuvittama. Bhagavan means you are like Bhagavan and you know many things. Bahuvit. You are the knower of many things. You are a great learned person. So you can answer all my questions. Kindly answer all my questions that I have asked you in the previous chapter. So like that, Vidura is reminding Maitreya. Why some people are addressed as Bhagavan also? Because since Lord possesses 6 opulences, so any person in this world also who exhibits some or at least one opulence of the Supreme Lord, they are also called Bhagavan sometimes. So Maitreya is endowed with knowledge aspect of the Supreme Lord. That's why he is also called as Bhagavan. So in that way. Now, Sutta Goswami is telling about what transpired between Vidura and Maitreya, that he is mentioning. Suta Uvacha
सूत उवाच
Evam Sanchoditastena
एवं संचोदितस्तेन
Chatra Kaushara Virmuni
तत्र कौशारवेमुनि
Pritaha Pratyahatan Prashnan
प्रीतः प्रत्याहतान् प्रश्नान्
Rudistan Ata Bhargava.
हृदिस्थान् अथ भार्गवा. Translation. Suta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitreya Muni, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the questions one after another. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. So our Suta Goswami is telling how Maitreya responded. O Shaunaka, son of Bhrigu, the sage Maitreya, thus inspired by Vidura, being pleased, began to reply to the questions which he had kept in his heart. So just like Vidura is reminding that please answer all my questions which I asked some time back. And here Suta Goswami says, no, my dear Vidura, don't worry. Our Maitreya remembers all your questions. He still kept all the questions in the heart only, did not forgot. So he will answer. And seeing the eagerness of Vidura, Maitreya expressed his happiness. So being pleased, Pritamana. Addressing Shaunaka Rishi as the son of Bhrigu suggests that he is capable of understanding the knowledge. So Suta Goswami addressing Shaunaka as Bhrigu, Bhrigunandan, Kausharava. So Kausharava Muni, Bhargava, son of Bhrigu. So you are the son of Bhrigu, and Maitreya is very knowledgeable person, and when he speaks, and person like you, when he very easily will understand. So please stay tuned or wait, be patient, something like that. The Goswami is telling. So kept in heart, Hridistan means Maitreya did not forget the questions. So the Goswami assuring that, my dear Shaunaka, don't worry, Maitreya did not forget any questions. He kept everything in his heart only. Will answer now everything in detail. So like that. Now,
Hare Krishna.
starting from 1 second, starting from text number 4 till the end of the chapter. So now Maitreya is basically he will answer now this current question of the Vidura only. The previous questions once in a while gets answered, but he will focus on the current question. So for this only he speaks this chapter, next chapter, next chapter, and chapter 20 also. Since in between Vidura again asks some questions, the topic goes here and there. So like that. Yes, Mataji.
प्रभु जी purport में लिखा है but the Sud Goswami was speaking to the sage of headed by the sages Saunaka the descendant of Sukdev Goswami क्यों लिखा है प्रभु जी यहाँ पे?
नहीं this Sutta Goswami Shaunaka Rishis are discussing in Naimisharanya.
नहीं headed by the sages Saunaka descendant of Sukdev Goswami.
Oh, that is correct. That is mistake. Shaunaka is the descendant of Bhrigu. It is called
Okay.
Bhargava. He
Okay.
is the
तो यहाँ
son
पे
of Bhrigu Muni.
okay.
That should be a correction required in that book. Now, he is not a descendant of Sukadeva Goswami.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay.
Okay. Maitreya Uvacha
मैत्रेय उवाच
Virinchopi tata chakre
विरिञ्चोऽपि तथा चक्रे
Divyam Varsha Shatam Tapaha
दिव्यं वर्षशतं तपः
Atmani Atmanam Aveshya
Atmane Atmanam Navashya
Yataha Bhagavan Aja.
Yathaha Bhagavanajaha. Translation. The greatly learned sage Maitreya said, O Vedura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penances for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord.
Yeah. Maitreya says Brahma thus engaged in meditation for 100 celestial years. Divya Varsha Shatam. Shatam is 100, Varsha is years. Whose years? Divya. So in the Bhagavatam, you should be careful. Whenever the word Divya is used, that means the particular activity is going for so and so number of years according to the Devata calculations. Divya Varsha means Devata years. When Bhagavatam says only Varsha, that refers to human Varshas. So this kind of understanding we should not forget. Whenever the word Divya is used, then it is Devata Varshas. Without the Divya, it is human Varshas. Like in the previous chapter, 8th chapter, when Brahma was searching for the source of the lotus, 100 years completed. That is called Purushayusha. Purushayusha refers to 100 years of the human lifespan according to the Kali Yuga residents. So like that. Then later on Shatabdi also used, that is 100 years of human years, not Devata years. So like that. So Divya Varshetam, the 100 celestial years he performed austerities as advised by the Supreme Lord, absorbing his mind on Narayana. Because in the previous chapter, Lord himself told him, perform tapasya. You will get the necessary knowledge to do what to do. So so it is like that. Because Lord said so, Brahmaji did accordingly. Atmani Atmanam Aveshya means he engaged his mind in Sri Narayana. Atmani Atmanam Aveshya. Atmani refers for mind, Atmanam refers for the soul. So for a great personality like Lord Brahma, the soul is the supreme personality of God himself. So Lord Brahma engaged his mind in supreme personality of Godhead, the soul of his life. So like that. So this is the verse which was mentioned in the previous 9th chapter when Lord Vishnu was speaking to Brahmaji, said that please perform tapasya. Bhuyastvam tapat atischa vidyam chaiva madashrayam ताभ्यम अंतर्हृदि ब्रह्मन लोकान द्रक्ष्यसि अपavrutam. So in the 9th chapter 30th verse, Lord Narayana told that, O Brahma, concentrate your mind and worship me using mantras to take shelter of me. Concentrate your mind and worship using mantras to take shelter of me. By these two within your heart and externally as well, you will see the planets divide of water. Basically, if you perform tapasya as well as bhakti, do, dono, that means bhakti yuta tapasya, you will see the universe which you are supposed to create within your heart as well as in front of your eyes. So when you see something in front of your eyes, you can do it very easily without any issue. That's what Lord Vishnu told that time. Accordingly, Lord Brahma is performing tapasya. So then in the same chapter, no, in the second canto, 9th chapter, text number 23-24. So there also there is a mention about tapasya. The words ta, pa, ta, pha were spoken by me when you were bewildered about how to create the universe in the beginning. O sinless Brahma, austerity for attaining me is my heart. Okay? Tapo me hrudayam sakshad atmaham tapaso anaga. Basically, whenever a person performs some austerity for attaining the Lord, not for attaining some mystic powers, not for attaining immortality like the Asuras do. If somebody performs tapasya to attain the Lord, he is Lord's heart. And I am the soul of that austerity. And for such kind of austerity, Lord says, I am the soul. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. So like that. If you perform tapasya for attaining the Lord, that tapasya is Lord's heart. So in that way. By austerity, I create, destroy, and maintain the universe again and again. My power arises from intense austerity. Lord himself says, whatever I do it by austerity. So what do you mean by Lord performing austerity? Karanodakasha Vishnu or Mahavishnu is always in Yoga Nidra. That Yoga Nidra is tapasya. So tapasya is that only, na? Sitting in meditation posture. So that's what Karanodakasha Vishnu is always in sitting in meditation, not sitting, but in the meditative posture. In one sense, he no need to do tapasya, but whatever he is doing, it is much more than tapasya. He is in Yoga Nidra with half closed, half opened eyes, neither sleeping nor awake. So that is tapasya. So like that. So when Lord says that by tapasya only I create, by tapasya only I maintain, by tapasya only I annihilate, and all my powers arise from intense tapasya means that one, Yoga Nidra. Because the Lord is always in Yoga Nidra, Lord is always doing tapasya. So like that we have to understand. So because Lord said Brahmaji about all these things, so Brahmaji took it to very core of his heart and then he performed tapasya for 100 celestial years. That means 360 into 100. 36,000 years Brahma performed tapasya. Not one day, 2 day. 36,000 years, human years. So that long he performed tapasya because he has to undertake a huge activity. So he cannot undertake that huge activity just like that superficially. So you need to well prepare. So like that. Even we saw in the previously that Kardama Muni was told by Brahma, so please get married and beget children, but before that, please the Lord. So Kardama Muni performed 10,000 years tapasya. To externally speaking, to get married, but internally speaking, not only he wanted to get married so that he can follow the instruction of his father Brahmaji, but also he wanted to attain the Supreme Lord as the Lord of his heart. But Lord was so pleased with his Bhakti Yuta austerities. Lord said, I will appear as your son, as Kapila. So like that. So even now Janmashtami is coming up. In the Janmashtami also we hear this pastime that after Lord Krishna appeared, he talks to Devaki and Vasdev. He tells them that, my dear parents, in your previous birth, you are actually Sutapa and Prishni and Sutapa. And with a desire to have a son like me, exactly like me, both of you underwent severe austerities for 12,000 Devata years. How many years? Here Brahma performed tapasya for only 100 years. But Prishni and Sutapa performed austerities for 12,000 Devata years. 12,000 देवताओं का वर्ष. How many human years it would be? 12,000 devata years equal to how many human years? Anyone? Any maths person? 12,000 into 360. No one? अभी तक तो मोबाइल में खोल के कैलकुलेटर में करके बोल सकते थे.
36 crores, Prabhuji.
360, not just 3. You have to multiply with 360. 12,000 into 360.
So 12,000 into
360.
Okay.
Because one devata year is equal to 360 human years. Because our 1 year is their 1 day. Their 1 year is our 360 years. Because we have approximately 360 days in a year.
43 lakhs 20,000 years.
Perfect. 43 lakh 20,000 years. How many years Kali Yuga will be there?
43 lakhs, Prabhuji. Kali Yuga.
4 lakhs 32,000.
Dwapara Yuga? 2 times to
8
that.
lakh.
No, don't worry about the 8 lakh. Don't remember all those things. 4 lakh 30,000 is okay. Dwapara Yuga will be 2 times to that. Treta Yuga will be 3 times to Kali Yuga. Satya Yuga will be 4 times to Kali Yuga. If you add these 4, how much it will be? 1 time Kali Yuga, 2 times Kali Yuga, 3 times Kali Yuga, 4 times Kali Yuga. All the 4 Yugas put together, how much it will be? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Kitna?
10 times, Prabhu.
10 times. If Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years, then one Chaturyuga will be how much?
Into 10, 4 3.
That is how much? 43,20,000 years.
Yeah, same.
That much time they performed tapasya. Prishni and Sutapa performed tapasya for one Chaturyuga time period, not 1 day, 2 day. One Divya Yuga or one Chaturyuga. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, all 4 yugas put together, that much time they performed tapasya. For what? To have a child who will be like the Supreme Lord. So Lord said, there is no one like me. I will only appear as your son, not 1 time, but 3 times. First time the Lord appeared as Prishnigarba, the son of Prishni and Sutapa. Second time Lord appeared as Upendra, the son of Aditi and Deva, Aditi and
Kashyapa.
Kashyapa. The 12th son of Aditi, Lord Vamana. And now he is appearing as the son of Devaki and Vasudev, as Vasudev Krishna. See this. If somebody want to have the Supreme Lord as their son, they need to perform austerities for one Chaturyuga. So something like that. This is tapasya. But Lord was so pleased with them. The Lord said, I will become your son not 1 time. Again and again I will become your son. So like
Hare
that.
Krishna, Prabhuji. How
Yes,
can
ma'am.
one be alive for one Chaturyuga?
Why not? Brahmaji
When
is
one Chaturyuga तक वो कृष्णी और सुतपा मतलब कैसे उनका इतना लंबा लाइफ था?
Yes, there are some people who can live for long. See how long Devatas will live? For how many Chaturyugas the Devatas will live? Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Ityadi, etc. How long they will live? No one knows?
72 Chaturyuga.
71, 72 Chaturyugas, which is called one Manvantara. And the great sages who are living in, of course, in the upper planetary systems like Maharloka, Janaloka, etc., like Vasishta, Pulaha, Kratu, etc. How long they will live? Anyone knows? How long all these great sages live for? Narada, four Kumaras, etc., etc. Anyone?
No, Prabhuji, I don't know. Please tell us.
No, you don't know, but others in the entire class.
नारद नारद जी तो अभी भी आता है ना प्रभु जी?
Hey, इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ how long they will live.
One
I
day
am not
Brahma.
saying that how long they lived. If I say in the past tense, they've already passed away. They're still there. That's why I'm saying I'm telling the future tense. How long they will live?
जब तक ये सृष्टि है तब तक वो रहेंगे ना प्रभु जी?
One day Brahma, Prabhuji. One day Brahma.
Okay, some say one day Brahma, some say जब तक सूची रहेगा. But तब तक सूची रहेगा. What is the tell in terms of numbers? Don't tell
100
some
years of
abstract.
100 years of Brahma ji.
Yes. All these great personalities, the sons of Lord Brahma himself, about whom we are going to discuss in the 12th chapter, their lifespan is equal to that of Brahma. That is true. But some people, by their tapasya, austerities, who goes to Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, this is one of these 4 planetary systems. Their lifespan is equal to 1 full day of Brahma. They live there for the entire day of Brahma. So like that. So lifespan varies from place to place. And this personality, Prishni and Sutapa, who is Sutapa? Sutapa is the direct son of Brahmaji only. He is also like one of the great sages. So from that point of view, he can also live as long as Brahma's life. But for our understanding, we can say that okay, he is not we don't live for one full lifespan of Brahmaji, but at least we can live 1 day of Brahma. If his lifespan is for 1 day of Brahma, that is 1000 Chaturyugas, so can't he perform 1 Chaturyuga tapasya?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But one thing, even though their lifespan may be very long, but if they want to go back to spiritual world, they can go anytime. If they want to stay here and serve, they can stay here. Or if they want to go to Vaikunta and serve the Lord there, they can go anytime in between. That is also possible. But in general, Brahma's children will at least live for one day of Brahma. Some special people, they live for the entire lifespan of Brahma. Why so? We'll discuss in the 12th chapter. So like that. So
Prabhuji,
it is like that.
Lord, father and mother may be changes different yugas.
I did not get what is the question.
Father of Lord, the father and mother, they may be changed, na? Yuga to yuga.
No, but if he appears, they will change. If he, does he appear? You got to you again and again. Which Lord's mother and father you are asking about?
This is Suttapa or Kashyapa. They
No,
may Lord of father and mother this yugas. But
no,
they may
not this yuga. See, wait, I did not forget to tell you. Prishni and Sutapa and all, they were during the time of Swayambhu Manvantara. Abhi ka nahi wo log. They are
yes.
during the time of Swayambhu Manu period. Like Kardama Muni, along with Kardama Muni, Sutapa also was born to Brahma. Just like Kardama Muni performing austerities on the other side, he had Lord Kapila, his son. On the other side, Sutapa and Prishni were performing austerities. They had Lord Prishnigarbha, their son. It was Prishnigarbha who gave darshan to Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was the son of Uttanapada, who was the son of Swayambhu Manu. So Dhruva Maharaj pastime took place in Swayambhu Manvantara period. And Prishnigarbha, the Lord who gave darshan to Dhruva Maharaj, also appeared during the Swayambhu Manvantara period. Not अभी का नहीं. स्वयंभू मनवंतर में हुआ था उनका जन्म.
Yes.
So it's like long back. So it is like that. So next chapter we are going to discuss about the timings and all. But anyway, all these details I have given in our book. Bhagavad Tattva Vichar, that book will have all these time calculations, avataras, which avatar appeared when, where, how, the science behind all the avatars, everything has been presented in that book. For those devotees who are interested, you can read that book. There you will get exact technical details. So etc. Okay, I think we'll go ahead. Since Janmashtami is coming, I just to have some connection, I just mentioned about Krishna and Sutapa. But whatever it is, when somebody wants to do something, some special service to Supreme Lord, we see through all these pastimes, there is tapasya. So tapasya they go through. Of course, these people are all from previous ages, they are performing tapasya. From our point of view, the tapasya is at least follow 4 regulative principles and eat prasadam. This itself is a great tapasya for us. If you can follow these 5 things, that itself is more than enough. Of course, there could be those who can practice more than that, they are always welcome. But basic minimum, this tapasya we need to practice. Following 4 regulative principles, manasa, vacha, karmana, and eating only prasadam. So these 5 things itself is a big tapasya for Kali Yuga people, especially in the modern situation, city culture, and all these things, busy schedules. So that itself is a great tapasya for us. Okay, let's move on. Tadvilokabja sambhuto
ताद्विलोक्याब्ज सम्भूतो
vayuna yad abhistita
वायुना यदधिष्ठिता
padmam ambascha tatkala
पद्मम् अम्बश्च तत्काला
krita viryena kampitam.
कृता वीर्येण कम्पितम्. Translation. Thereafter Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to a strong violent wind.
Thereafter Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and water from which the lotus came were trembling. Both the lotus is also trembling and water is also trembling because of the powerful wind of devastation. Since when this wind is there? Since the time of the previous yesterday's destruction. Brahma, who was situated on the lotus, saw that the lotus and water were trembling in the wind. This verse is connected with the following verse. The wind had power from the period of devastation, Kala Krita Viryena. It means that the wind and water had the same power as during the devastation when their power had increased. Basically, yesterday evening, from Brahma's point of view, there was pralaya. So during that pralaya, there was fire, then there was rain, and when there was fire, there was rain, there was also wind. So since then, the wind and water is there. They are continuously because of the wind, the water is turbulent. That is there. Especially we see in the rainy season when there is huge rain. If you go to the river bank and the ocean bank, there are the huge tides. Not tides. The waves of the ocean will be very huge, and river goes with high speed. So that is a Bhayanak Drishya. So Lord Brahma is seeing the same thing. So it means that the wind and the water had the same power as during the devastation when their power had increased. That means yesterday evening when Pralaya was taking place, that time whatever power was there for the water as well as for the wind, the same thing now also Brahma is seeing. So like that. So here is one verse from 3.8.32. The same things are mentioned in the previous chapter also. So desiring to create variety in the universe, Brahma saw nothing except the lotus coming from the water in Lord Vishnu's navel, and he saw himself stood on the lotus, and three elements. What were the three elements? Water, that is the Garbhodaka ocean, which is filling the half of the universe. Air, the wind, which is flowing, and ether, the upper half of the universe is filled with the ether. So in the lower half of the universe, there is water, that is Garbhodaka ocean, which is turbulent. And in the upper half of the universe, there is ether. Within that, there is wind. That wind is causing the turbulence in the water. Now there is a lotus. Naya lotus aa gaya. Lotus also, it is like going to and fro because of the huge wind. So, Brahmaji saw all these things. He saw the lotus sprouting in Lord Vishnu's navel, himself in the lotus, and the three elements, water, air, and ether, all around him. He did not see anything else, such as earth or fire. He had a desire to create variety in the worlds. So whatever he saw, before he could see the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, then now also after performing tapasya, also he sees the same things. But now he is empowered. He is empowered by Bhakti. He can do something. So that we will see in the next verse. So here again, one verse from the 9th chapter, there also same thing mentioned. Tata Atmani Lokecha Bhakti Yuktai Samahita Dadarshi Drishtasi Mam Tattvam Brahmam Mai Lokam Swamatmana. Oh my son, Lord is saying, engage with attention in bhakti. You will see me within your mind and spread in all planets, and you will see all the planets and all the jivas in me. So because now Brahma is going to manifest all those things. So what did Brahma do afterwards? Tapasa hi edamanena
तपसा हि एदमानेन
vidyaya chatma samstaya
विद्यया चात्मसंस्थया
vivruddha vijnana balo
विवृद्ध विज्ञानबलो
Nyapadvayum Sahambasa.
न्यपाद वायुं सहाम्भसा. Long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water. Hare Krishna.
Brahma, powerful with knowledge. Now, after empowered by the Lord, after performing 100 celestial years of tapasya, that is 36,000 human years of tapasya, he became powerful with what? He became powerful with knowledge about what to do and how to do. From increased meditation and mantra worship. How did he get that knowledge? By Bhakti Yuta Tapasya. Okay? Fixed on the Lord. Destroys the wind along with the water. Destroy the wind means Prabhupada says that he drank actually. That whatever powerful turbulent wind was there and water is also turbulent, he drank both of them. So then there is no wind, when there is no water, then there will be no fear. So like that. So he destroyed the bewildered, the turbulent wind and turbulent water. That means he made them calm, or he drank, or he made them calm by his mystic potency. So either way, he actually pacified the bewildering situation now. So now Brahma gets into action. Tadvilokya viyadvyapi
Tatvilokya vivadvyapi
pushkaram yad adishtitam
pushkaram yat adishtitam
anena lokan praglinan
anekalokan praglinan
kalpitasmiti achintayat.
kalpitasmi achintayat. Translation. Thereafter he saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very same lotus.
Yeah. Seeing the lotus on which he was situated spread up to Satyaloka. He saw the lotus is going all the way up to Satyaloka. Matlab, he's starting from the Garbhodaya ocean going all the way to the top of the universe. He thought, I will create the lokas, I will create the planetary systems as they were before destruction from this lotus. So Brahma, he had an idea what was there in the previous day. So now he understood that from this lotus I have to create all the planetary systems. So I will do it. He was determined to do what he is supposed to do. Because after drinking the wind, powerful and turbulent wind and water, now the entire universe is peaceful. So he is going to do his action. He is going to start his action. He saw the lotus spread up to Satyaloka. Kalpitasmi means I will create. I will manifest all the lokas as they were in my previous day. So like that it is indicated. Now what did you do? How did you do? Etc. We'll see.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, verse number 5 mention both lotus. One lotus is where Brahmaji had seated, and another lotus.
Not another lotus. Both means two things. But thereafter Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water. Brahma saw both the things. One is lotus and the other one is water. Because both are moving up, moving here and there because of the wind. See, simple thing. When there is a wind, you see only water is getting agitated, plants or trees also gets agitated. First of all, the tree gets agitated, na? Before the water. Prabhuji, I'm asking
Yes,
you.
Prabhuji.
So, like
Yes,
that.
Prabhuji.
So he himself is there on the top of the lotus, and the lotus, the entire lotus is also going up and down, not up and down, we can say, to and fro because of the huge wind, and the water also going through a lot of turbulence because of the huge wind. That is understanding.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Because there is nothing else. इधर को कुछ नहीं होगा. इधर तो वैसे रहेगा. So in that way. Padmakosham tadavisya
Padmakosham tadavisya
Bhagavat karma choditaha
Bhagavat karma choditaha
Evam vyabangshid Puruda
Ekam vyabhakshit urudha
urdha
Trida bhavyam dvisaptada.
tridha bhavyam dvisaptada.
Translation. Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the whirl of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into 3 divisions of worlds and later into 14 divisions.
Inspired to do the work of the Lord, inspired to do the service of the Lord, Brahma entered into the whirl of the lotus. First, he divided the entire lotus into 3 divisions. And later, he extended the divisions into 14 in order to produce varieties. First, Brahma cut the lotus into 3 parts, then he cut into 14 parts. So he entered into the lotus, fixed in the creation of the planets by the Lord. He divided the one lotus into 3 parts. First of all, he cut the lotus into 3 divisions. Why? In order to negate the idea that it is impossible to create 3 worlds out of 1, it is explained that the expansion was even greater. Brahma made it into 14 divisions, since to make it suitable for many forms, 3 divisions was not sufficient. So initially Brahma divided the entire lotus into 3 divisions in order to create 3 different places for 3 different category of living entities. So then Brahma thought, why only 3 variety of beings in the entire in the bada universe? Only 3 varieties? So let me have more varieties. Then he divided 3 into 14, and 14 also will have so many subdivisions. And in each and every subdivision, there are different variety of beings can be placed. That was the whole idea. This is Sri Swami's explanation. First, Brahma divided the lotus into 3 and then into 14 and then even more divisions with planets like the sun and moon, etc. How is it described? It was suitable for meditation by the worshippers of Vairaja. This is the explanation of Bhavyam by others. So it is said that why Brahma made so many divisions? First reason is to have variety in the entire universe. If everywhere only one category of living entities are there, it becomes monotonous. There should be many divisions so that different variety of beings can be placed at different places. And who are staying where, what kind of people are staying in which place and all, we will discuss in 5th canto. When we come to 5th canto, that time we will discuss. But for now, it is like that. In order to provide variety, Lord Brahma created multiple divisions. And also, for the yogis who want to meditate upon Vairaja, the Vairaja should have multiple variety. So in that way, the variety has been manifested. So now you see picture. So here, Garbhodaka ocean is there. Within the Garbhodaka ocean, down below, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is there. And upper half is only filled with water and air. Sorry, niche water, upper is air and ether. That's all. This is what is there. So when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu wanted to further the creation, he looked into his own abdomen. From his abdomen, there comes the beautiful lotus. So here, as you see. Then Brahma, who appeared on top of the lotus, divides the lotus into 3 divisions first. Bhuloka, Bhorloka, Svargaloka. So he thought that 3 divisions would be not sufficient. We want to have more divisions. Then he divided into 14 divisions. And in each division, there are many subdivisions. Later in the 5th canto, we'll see. What are the Bhuloka, this entire Bhumandala will have so many subdivisions known as Dvipas and Varshas. And in the Bhuvarloka, there are so many divisions like abodes. Kinnara Loka, Gandharva Loka, Yaksha Loka, Rakshasa Loka, Bhuta Loka, Preta Loka, like that there are so many lokas are there within Bhuvar Loka. In Sarga Loka, there are so many planets, so many stars, etc. Whatever planets and stars that we see in the night, they are all situated in the Sarga Loka. And all these stars and planets are the abodes of different devatas. So that's how there are so many subdivisions. Like this, there are so many divisions are there. See, here is the lotus flower. It has got stem. It has got a leaf. The lotus leaf is located just above the water. So on the upper surface of the lotus leaf is Bhuloka. And inside the lotus leaf, there are 7 bilas, 7 caves. And they are known as 7 bilas Swargas. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala. They are actually 7 caves inside the lotus leaf. And the lotus trunk and this lotus stem will have Bhorloka and Swargaloka. And they are situated around in this area, in the intermediate area. And the flower has been divided into 4 divisions consisting of Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. So this is how are located at different places. And they themselves have multiple variety, different by different in the form of different divisions. So that Brahmaji can create variety of living species so that they can give in their respective places. That was the whole idea. Okay, all of you understand this figure? So this image kindly keep in your mind. In the later part of the Bhagavatam, we'll continue. We'll keep referring to this figure. Whenever some people are mentioned, now you should understand where they are staying. Later in 12th chapter, we'll see that all the great sages such as Narada Muni, four Kumaras, Pulaha, Vasishtha, and all their names are mentioned. All such great sages, they actually stay in the in this place, in the upper four planetary systems. Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka are meant for the great sages. We will discuss about them in the 12th chapter. And then all the devatas and other devatas, they reside in the Sarga Loka and Bhuvarloka, and also Atala Vitala. At the end of this chapter, we will be there is a verse talks about the different variety of superhuman beings, and that time we'll discuss who will stay where. And then in this chapter we'll discuss about the creation of plants, animals, human beings, and aquatics, etc. So mostly all these people stay in the Bhuloka. And except human beings, other animals and plants also, they may be there in the other part of the universe also, but majority of quantity they are there in the Bhuloka. So in that way, maybe at the end of the chapter again we'll take this slide and see which people are staying in which place. So that way we'll have a good idea. So Hare Krishna. So now we'll move on. Anybody has any question with respect to this picture?
Prabhuji, which is the biggest loka?
Why, Prabhu? Which is big? What will do?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Biggest
Not
in terms of size or what? Same.
Size.
Size तो बढ़ रहने से क्या फायदा? Same. It is not about the biggest thing. One may say I'll give you an example. All these lokas are very big, but here where my cursor is there is a small dot that is called Dhruva Loka. In that Dhruva Loka, Lord Vishnu stays. Size wise, that is the smallest in the entire universe. But that is important, or other places are important?
Where Lord
Prabhuji, I
is
can't see your
that way.
cursor.
So that makes it special. We need to worry about where the Lord is there, not about which is the big, which is small and all. Even I also don't know what is big, what is small, because I never thought like that. First time I am hearing such a question. So, but whatever, there could be, some may be big, some may be small, I don't know. But big or small does not matter. But for us, what is important is who's staying where, what kind of people are staying in which place. That is, so we should have some idea in that way.
Prabhuji, where is Dhruvaloka? I
and
couldn't see.
Varshad.
Dhruvaloka is here where my cursor is there. The topmost point of Sargaloka is Dhruvaloka. Here. The red dot is there, na?
Okay, Prabhuji.
This is
Yes,
Dhruvaloka.
Prabhuji, got it. Yes, Prabhuji.
प्रभु
Thank you.
भूलोकों में द्वीपास और वर्षाज यानी we are come under भूलोकास ना?
We are in Bhuloka. In that Bhuloka, the divisions are Dvipas and Varshas. Among them, one Varsha is Bharata Varsha. Within Bharata Varsha, we are living.
Okay, and ये भूवर लोकों में means planetary system आएगा ना?
Bhuvarlok में abodes. They are called abodes. Yaksha Loka, Rakshasa Loka, Kinnara Loka, Kimpurusha Loka, Gandharva Loka, Siddhadya
तो
Loka,
ये
like that. They are
सब
called
भूलोक के
Lokas.
ऊपर है, भूलोक के
Yes.
पृथ्वी के ऊपर है ये सब.
Yeah, Bhuvarloka, Sargaloka, they are upper only in the northern direction. If you look towards the north direction, that is what Bhuvarloka and Sargaloka is all about.
Hare
और
Krishna
स्वर्ग
Prabhu
लोक
ji.
से वो प्लेनेट सिस्टम आएगा ना?
Not clear. Can you repeat?
ये जो स्वर्ग लोका है प्लेनेट्स वो स्वर्गलोक महरलोक तपलोक और ये सब प्लेनेट में आएगा ना? स्वर्ग लोक में आएंगे
नहीं. See, why are you so extending it? In Swargaloka, the divisions are called planets. All of you can read this. Is it visible? This letters. The color is green,
Yes,
not so clear, but yeah.
You can read.
Yes.
These are lokas. Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. They are loka. They are not like planets and all. They are lokas. Loka is different from planet.
Okay.
In one sense, loka means the place where people stay. Loka means कहाँ जहाँ पे लोग रहते हैं. That is called loka. So in generally it is same, but loka means a particular section. A planet means in Sanskrit is called graha. The grahas are mainly situated in Sarga loka.
Okay.
The Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, all these grahas are in Sarga loka.
Okay.
So in that way.
और ये अतल वितल वो सब नीचे है, भूलोक के नीचे है, बराबर है?
नीचे नहीं. See, in that sense नीचे है. There is a lotus leaf. The green thing is all lotus leaf. Abhi, where you have been to South Indian temples anytime?
Yes,
No,
yes.
Prabhuji.
So adjacent to Vishnu's temple, there is a
Yeah.
Pushkarani.
हाँ,
There is a
रंगनाथ
water
मंदिर में गए
lake.
हैं.
In that lake, there will be lot of lotus plants. Okay, that will have a lotus leaf, big lotus leaf, and there is a stem in between, and there is a flower on top. Did you remember? Do you remember?
Yeah.
So that lotus leaf is the entire Bhumandala. The upper surface of the lotus leaf is Bhuloka.
Okay.
And inside the lotus leaf, I'll tell you one thing. So here, I'll open my video. So this is like the upper surface of the lotus. Okay. This is the total thickness of the lotus leaf. So niche pani, water, Garbhodaka water, just above the water, there is a lotus leaf.
Okay.
So inside the lotus leaf at different sections, here is Atala Loka. In this section, here there is a cave, Atala Loka. Here there is a cave, Sutala Loka. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, like that. Within the thickness of the lotus leaf, there are 7 caves. The 7 caves are known as 7 lower planetary systems. So like that.
Okay. और लिप्स के ऊपर 7 लोग है.
हाँ, लीफ के ऊपर भूलोका.
Okay.
So the
अब
Bhuloka
clear
is the
हुआ.
upper surface of the leaf. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, and what about below the leaf till the navel of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu? That stem is
Below the leaf क्या रहता है? पानी रहता है. So the leaf is just above the water. That's why I gave the example, Pushkarani. If you have seen the lotus plant in the water lake, so below the leaf, what is there?
तो ये अतल वितल सुतल ये जो है सब ये पानी के अंदर है प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna. I don't know how to explain. See, this is the leaf, and this leaf is floating in the water, floating above the water. And leaf ke andar, inside the leaf, there are 7 caves. You remember cave? You understand cave?
Yeah.
When you travel from Bombay to Pune, there are so many tunnels.
हाँ.
So they
अच्छा,
are
वो
called
स्टेम
caves.
नीचे जो पानी में स्टेम है उसके अंदर 7 केव्स है और उसमें 7 लोग है. You are trying to.
You people are able to see this picture or not?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
So पानी
Yes,
के
Prabhu.
अंदर नहीं. This leaf is above the water.
Okay.
You never been to any temples?
Prabhuji,
Where
leaf,
Prabhuji, the
leaf
the
इतना
caves
मोटा
are
रहता
in the leaf, na? Caves are in
हम
the
इसलिए
leaf
leaf
only.
पतला सोच रहे हैं.
लीफ पतला ही रहेगा because I need to show the 7 lower planetary systems. उसके लिए मोटा दिखाया है.
हाँ, वही.
हाँ, उसके अंदर 7 लोक है. If I keep the leaf very small, where will you see the 7 lokas inside that? That's why I put the leaf the big one.
Okay. यानी लिफ्ट के अंदर 7 लोग हैं और लिफ्ट के
लेव है
ऊपर
ना,
7
बता रहे हो,
लोग.
लेव में ना 7 सेक्शन है, लेकिन हम सोच रहे हैं कि पत्ता में कैसे रहेगा करके, इतना पतला रहता है ना, तो
पत्ता के अंदर, that's why I'm saying caves, tunnel.
उसके
कोने
अंदर
के जाने के
सेक्शन
रास्ते में टनल कहाँ पे रहते हैं?
अलग अलग कनल.
इस कोने से उस कोने तक चलता है.
अच्छा, ओके. आजू बाजू में भी रह
टनल
सकते हैं
कैसे रहता है? ये कोने से वो कोने तक चलते हैं ना. बीच में माउंटेन है, पहाड़ के अंदर से टनल इधर से इधर चलता है. Like that, imagine there are 7 tunnels. एक टनल below other, दूसरा below, तीसरा like that. We have na in Bombay, there is on the surface of the road, there is a road, and above that there is a flyover, and above flyover there is metro track. You have 3 levels. So like that, the 7 tunnels will be there one above the other. The 7 tunnels are the 7 Visargas.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हाँ, यस मत।
प्रभु जी बोल रहे हैं ना कि ये लीफ इतना पतला है, इसमें सारे लोग कैसे रहेंगे। ये लोटस फ्लावर भगवान लॉर्ड विष्णु के नेवल से निकला हुआ है। इट इज नॉट ऑर्डिनरी लोटस तो हम तालाब में देखते हैं, तो उसका लीफ भी
even patla leaf के अंदर भी there could be so many layers also. We have this microscope अंदर ना, उसके उससे देखना पड़ता है आपको। मैं उसको इधर थोड़ा मैग्नीफाई करके दिखाया, बस उतना ही अंदर। Actually the leaf is very small only. The leaf thickness is very small. I'll tell you one. I'll give you one example. From here there where the water is there na, from here to the bottom of the universe is 250 million yojanas. From here to here also 250 million yojanas. The leaf size is 0.1 million yojanas. In a universe of 500 million yojanas diameter, the leaf thickness is only 0.1 million yojanas. Then it should be how thin it should be. But for us to see how it is, I made them thick. See, whenever we show some picture, it won't be to the scale. Don't have the miss assumption that okay, everything should be here. What is shown is as per the scale. It is not necessarily at the scale. It is just to explain us. Okay, यहाँ पर ये करके. So it is like that. Just extend your imagination. So in that way. So basically अभी के लिए इतना मान लो, there is a water, just above the water there is a lotus leaf, और leaf के अंदर 7 बिल है, 7 canals, 7 tunnels. So there are 7 Visargas, and on the upper surface of the leaf there is Bhuloka. From the stem there comes here to here Bhuvarloka and here to here Sarga, and from the flower there are Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. So like that you need to understand. Hare Krishna. So these are the lokas. So this is the Bhumandala, and this is Garbhodaka ocean. In the Garbhodaka Vishnu is there, and here are planets: Rahu, Ketu, Moon, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Saptarishi Mandal, and Pole Star. So this is Bhumandala, that is Bhuloka. Within Bhuloka, here to here we have 7 lower planetary systems, and from the upper surface of the Bhumandala to Moon, this intermediate space is called Bhuvarloka. From Moon to Pole Star, this is all Sargaloka, within which all the planets are there. And this is Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. It's like that. So later on when we come to 5th canto, we'll discuss elaborately. For now, this is enough. So okay, we'll go ahead. एतावान् जीवलोकस्य संस्थाभेदः समाहृतः धर्मस्य हि अनिमित्तस्य विभाका परमेष्ठसौ
Translation. Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his costless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary divisions for inhabitation by the different types of living entities.
The production of the various places, various lokas, suitable for the 14 types of jivas was entrusted to Brahma because he was mature in meditation and worship. He was mature in tapasya and bhakti without material desires. Brahma is not doing all these things in order to fulfill the material desires. He was doing it genuinely as a service to Supreme Lord and could therefore carry out creation. Because Brahma wanted to do something selflessly, Lord Vishnu empowered him to do the needful. So at the empowerment of the Lord only, he could drink the turbulent water and turbulent wind, and he could divide the entire lotus into first 3 divisions, then 14 and 4. Every division also has so many subdivisions. So like that. This is all he is able to do because of his selfless nature and Lord's empowerment. The production of particular places suitable for the particular individual bodies and the parts of the universal form was entrusted to Brahma because Brahma was mature in meditation and worship using mantra without material desire. What is impossible with the strength of such meditation? So, what is impossible for a person who can perform such kind of Bhakti Yuta Tapasya for 100 celestial years? So, like that, it is said. So, here is one verse how Lord becomes pleased is from 3, 9, 13, and 43. So, their Lords told that I am very much pleased with you because of your selfless desire to serve me. I am pleased that you praised me, recognizing me to be the possessor of spiritual qualities, devoid of material qualities. When you desire to create successful progeny, okay, let there be auspiciousness for you. Create the offsprings, create the offsprings who will be obedient to me and have devotion for me, as in the previous day, by your body composed of the Vedas, whose source is me. So Lord told Brahmaji that please create the living entities who are obedient to me, who are also devoted to me, as you have done in the previous day. So Lord empowered him because Lord was very much pleased looking at Brahma's selfless service. So in that way. So with that Lord's special empowerment, now Brahma is doing what he's supposed to do. So like that. So next. Vidura Uvacha.
Vidura Uvacha
Yatatta Bahurupasya
Yatata Bahurupasya
Hareradbhuta Karmanaha
Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha
Kalakyam Lakshanam Brahman
Kalaksham Lakshanam Brahmam
Yata Varnayana Prabho.
Yatha Varnanaha Prabhu. Translation.
Hare Krishna.
Vidura
Krishna.
include Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, who is speaking?
Abhay Keshav Das Prabhuji. Abhay Keshav Das speaking, Prabhu.
I guess Prabhu's on the phone.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, please read the translation, Prabhuji.
Translation. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O my Lord, O greatly learned sage, kindly describe eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful actor. What are the symptoms of the eternal time? Please describe them to us in details. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Now again, Vidura is asking one question in between. My Lord, O greatly learned sage, describe exactly the symptoms of time which you had mentioned and which belongs to Supreme Lord, having many forms and astonishing pastimes. Kalakyam Lakshanam Brahma. Please tell me the qualities of the time. What is the time? It is actually Brahman. It is not non-different from Brahman, only the Supreme Lord, who is known as Kala. And he performs Adbhuta Karma. And he also manifests in Bahurupa. So please tell about time also. So previous question is, what did Brahma do? So one activity of Brahma is mentioned. What did Brahma do? Brahma performed tapasya. Then he drank water, he drank wind. He divided the lotus into 14 divisions and with many subdivisions. So first part of the Brahma service is over. So now Vidura is asking a question that please tell me about the time which performs wonderful activities. Though time has been mentioned in many places such as in 3812, 3813, 3822, 310.5, all these places का time के बारे में बताया था. But having forgotten that the Lord's efforts, creation and destruction are accomplished by time, Vidura now asks about time. Please exactly describe time that you had mentioned previously, once in a while here and there. Now I want to hear in more detail about the time. So the answer to this question will be given in the next chapter. One full chapter is dedicated to describe time. That the Bahurupa, the different ways we perceive time, is explained in the next chapter. But for now, Maitreya will give one or two verses, a small answer he will give, and then he will go ahead with the topic of Brahma's service. So like that. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Guno Vetikara
Guno Vyatikarakaro.
Nirvishesha Pratistitaha
Nirvisesho Pratishtitaha.
Purushastad Upadanam
Purushastat Upadanam.
Atmanam Leelaya Srujat.
Atmanam Lilayasrajat. Translation. Maitreya said, eternal time is the primeval source of the interactions of the three modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation.
So Maitreya is telling that he briefly talks about time. Time, whose true nature is known through the interactions of the gunas. So what is time? It is the time which agitated the three modes of material nature. At the beginning of the creation, when Prakriti appeared from the skin pores of Mahavishnu, Mahavishnu glanced upon Prakriti and impregnated her with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti. That Kala agitated the three modes, as a result of which, one by one, all the three modes became activated. Who were sleeping, they got up. Then, from mode of goodness, there appeared Mahatattva. From mode of passion, there appeared Suttatattva. From mode of ignorance, there appeared Ahankara. So, like that. So, time is known by its potency of agitation. It agitates the three gunas. It is without particular attributes. Nirvishesha. We don't have any attributes to describe time. There is nothing like time is white, time is way heavy, and time is 10 meter cube volume. Like that kind of qualities we don't ascribe to time. And has no beginning or end. Time has no beginning or end. It is always existing. The Supreme Lord created the universe, which has time as its efficient cause, as a pastime. So time in itself has no beginning and end. But the Supreme Lord uses time to describe the beginning and end of the universe. So within the universe, all the universal activities are happening in reference to time. But time itself has no beginning and end. But our universe in which we are living has beginning and end. So like that. They are like similarly, we also have a beginning and end. That means our existence as a human being also has a beginning and it also has a ending. But time itself has no beginning and ending. It is ever existing. It is always there. So like that. Time, knowledge of whose nature arises from the transformation of the gunas into Mahatattva and other elements, is without specific qualities and is without beginning and end. By its cause, by time, creation and destruction take place. It is only by time the creation of the universe and destruction of the universe are happening. But time itself does not go through creation and destruction. It does not have birth or death. But it creates birth and death of all of us and the entire universe and everything. So, like that. Upadana means what is accepted as the cause. Upada means to receive. The Lord created the universe which is called himself, since it is a result of his own Shakti, Prakriti, in which time acts as the efficient cause. So, inside the universe, the time is the efficient cause. So, efficient cause means, how do we understand it is the effective cause? So, it is like, the example is given by Sukadeva Goswami in the second canto. He says that what do you mean by efficient cause? There is a mud. Okay. The mud is there in the lake, and the potter takes the mud from the lake and he mixes in a particular fashion, keeps it on top of the potter's wheel and revolves the potter's wheel, and he transforms the mud into a beautiful pot. So we see mud in the lake and we see a mud pot in our home. Both of them are mud only, but that mud which is in the lake has been transformed into a pot which also contains mud. How? Because of the intervention of the potter. A intelligent personality known as potter has transformed the lake mud into pot. So this potter is called as efficient cause. He is the transformer who transforms one form of mud into another form of mud. So like that. So time is like that. It is the time which causes all the transformations. So later on the second canto 9th chapter it is mentioned that how do we understand the transformations of time? The transformation of time can be seen within our personality in terms of 6 changes that we go through. We take birth, we grow, we get married and beget children. We take care of the children, stay for some time, earn money and take care of the family and all. Eventually become old. One day we die. These 6 transformations will happen in our body. Our body does not remain same. It is actually changing. Who is changing that? Time. The time is like the potter who changes the mud into pot. The time changes our infant body into youthful body, adult body, dwindling old body, and dying body, and also in between extending or expanding this body into the body of children's. So like that. This is all done by time only. Time only does all these things at the efficient cause. So not only for us, but for every living entity, the change in transformation and their body is all happening by time only. The same way the universe also, it is created, maintained, annihilated, again created, maintained, annihilated. Everything is happening by time. So it is like that. So very briefly, he introduced time. And then he further talks about time in the next 2 verses also. Vishwam vai brahma tanmatram
Viswam vai Brahma Tanmatram
samstitam vishwam vishnu mayaya
Samsthitam Vishnu Mayaya
Ishvarena parichinnanam
Ishvarena Parichinnanam
kalena vyaktamurtina.
Kalena Vyaktamurtina. Translation. This cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as material energy by means of Kala, which is the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Lord. It is situated as the objective manifestation of the Lord under the influence of the same material energy of Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. The universe, which is firmly established by Lord Vishnu's Maya, whose cause is the Lord, is divided into various planets and living beings by time, whose form is invisible, Avyakta Murtina, and which is a representative of the Lord's power, Ishwarena, Ishvara Shakti. Time is basically Ishvara Shakti. And this universe has been created by this Ishvara Shakti, and within the universe, it has been divided into 14 planetary systems and also unlimited variety of living entities, and they are maintained and they are vanquished at a particular point of time. All these things are happening by time, and time is nothing but Ishvara Shakti, and its form is invisible. It is Avyakta Murti. Though time is Ishvara Shakti, we can't see the time. It is invisible. But we can see the effect of time. So it is like that. These are some of the attributes of time. There were more details about time are also mentioned in the 29th chapter of the third canto. In Teachings of Lord Kapila, 29th chapter, last 10 verses talks about the various attributes of time. Because Mother Devoti asked about time, Lord Kapila speaks about it. So you can refer to that section also. The Lord's Maya, by Lord's Maya, this universe is established firmly. It is divided variously as described above in the previous verses how Brahma divided it to. That is all happening by time. A form of Lord's influence. Its form is invisible. This explains the term without particular attributes in the previous verse. So basically, time itself does not have a physical form, but it accomplishes every activity with personality like Brahma, Durga, and other personality like every Prajapatis, all of us, etc. So it is like that. So Bhagavad Gita, there is one shloka. I think chapter 9, text number 10. Anyone remembers what is the shloka? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 10. Bhakti Shastris. All of you are Bhakti Shastri holders. Chapter 9, text number 10.
Prabhuji, Maya Dekshena Prakriti Suyate and Satchanacharam.
Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Taracharam. Under my supervision, everything is happening. The Prakriti and all the living entities are performing their respective activities under my supervision. Maya Adhyakshena. That Adhyaksha is nothing but time. When Mahavishnu glances upon Prakriti, what comes out of that glance? Kala Shakti. That Kala Shakti is Lord's supervision. So Lord takes care of the creation, maintenance and annihilation, everything by the time potency, that Kala Shakti. That is Lord's Shakti only. So in that way you have to remember. Time is nothing but Lord's supervising potency. So ultimately what does this time do? This time does this thing. Yatedanim tatagre cha
Yatedanim tadagre cha
Pashadapi etadishridam
Paschadapi etad idram idrisam.
idrisham.
Translation: This cosmic manifestation is as it is now. It was the same in the past, and it will continue in the same way in the future.
As the universe exists now, it existed before devastation and will exist after devastation in the next creation. That means it says that what is the another aspect of time? It is by time. The universe was existed yesterday of Brahma. It is existing today of Brahma, and it will continue to exist tomorrow also. It is by time all these things are happening. Because the universe has a beginning and end, the universe must be unreal. How can an unreal universe be divided? Somebody questions that. अभी आप बोल रहे universe के बारे में, it has been created, maintained, annihilated. So something created and annihilated, it has no eternal existence. So it is illusory. How can a illusory object can be divided into different divisions? Then Maitreya Rishi says that no, this universe existed before the great devastation, and after the devastation is over, it will exist. It is not a false object, but temporary object. The universe is not illusory. Instead, you can see the 14 lokas manifesting and existing throughout the day of Brahma. At the end of the day of Brahma, it will be destroyed. But yeah, it will again re-manifested in the next day of Brahma. So it is eternal, but it is real, but temporary. It may not be eternally existing continuously like that, but it is always existing. It is real world. It is not an imaginary world as Mayavadis say. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The Mayavas clearly say that Jagat is Mithya. The entire world which is around us is all Mithya. But Bhagavatam claim is not like that. This world is real. It is all Satya only. But its existence is temporary. The world that we see exists for the entire daytime of Brahma. In the night time, you don't see it. Again, the next day, again we see. Again, then it will be destroyed. In the next day morning, again it is created. So that is what happens with this universe. So like that it is mentioned. So it is like that.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Prabhuji, Brahmaji is creating every day, Prabhuji.
he does every day.
तो मतलब अभी पहले दिन तो उनको वही 3 भाग में डिवाइड किया, फिर उनको फिर लगा कि और ज्यादा में डिवाइड करना चाहिए, फिर 14 में डिवाइड किया, फिर तो सेकेंड डे भी वही 3 भाग, फिर 14, मतलब वही सीक्वेंस चलता रहेगा।
See, keep this question in your mind, and next week when we discuss 11th chapter, we'll understand more in more clarity how and why it happens. Okay. So it's like, I give this example. Every day morning we perform sadhana. Morning Mangalarti, chanting, Bhagavatam class. And also,
Yes.
Another example is that every day we go to work and we go to work
Doing
for
with
our
same.
livelihood, and every day we eat prasad.
हाँ.
We may say that one day एक बार जाएंगे काम करेंगे और एक बार खाएंगे and सोएंगे, but it is not sufficient. We need to do, these are routine activities we should do regularly. For Brahma, the routine activity is to create every day morning.
Okay.
So it is like that. How it happens and all we will see in the how creation is happening. We'll see this chapter. How annihilation will take place, how and when, how etc. We'll see in the next chapter. So keep in mind. Other devotees, any
Sure.
questions till now? अभी तक कुछ प्रश्न है क्या?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Other devotees?
No,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
bro.
Okay. So now let us go a little faster. These are important details, not faster in sense, we'll do it thoroughly. So 14th verse. Sargo na vidattasya
Sargo nava vidatasya
prakruto vaikrutastu ya
prakurto vaikrutasya tu yaha
kaladravya gunerasya
kaladravya gunerasya
trivida pratisangrama.
trividha pratisangramaha. Translation.
So
There are nine different kinds of creations beside the one which naturally occurs due to the interaction of the modes. There are three kinds of annihilations due to the eternal time, the material elements, and the quality of one's work. Hare Krishna.
yeah, here Maitreya is saying that there are 9 types of creation. 6 are elemental creation and 3 are by Brahma. Out of 9, 6 are done by Vishnu, 3 are done by Brahma. The 10th, the creation of the Devatas, is both the combination of elemental creation as well as the creation by Brahma. So out of 10, 6 are called Sarga, 3 are called Visarga. The 10th one is both Sarga and Visarga. So that is understanding. Sarga means creation by Vishnu, Visarga means creation by Brahma. And the 10th one is the combined creation of Vishnu as well as Brahma. How and why? We will see. There are 3 kinds of destruction. Just like there are 10 types of creation, there are 3 kinds of destruction. So what are they? The first one is the destruction at the end of Brahma's lifespan of 100 years. Second one is the destruction at the end of Brahma's day. And the destruction of the individual bodies by karma. These are the 3 kinds of destructions. Having described time in general, Maitreya will describe time in detail in the next chapter. For that purpose, the creation which was previously described in detail is again described in summary for easy understanding. Starting from chapter 5 till now, whatever has been presented, whatever has been created by Vishnu is briefly summarized in 3 shlokas. Next upcoming 3 shlokas is all quick summary of what has been mentioned in the previous 3-4 chapters. So it is grouped into 10 types, actually 6 types. What has been said till now, it is grouped into 6 types, and what is going to be mentioned in the future, it is grouped into 4 types. So in total, there are 10 types. There are 9 types. There are 9 types of creations, and the 10th type, which is a combination of both elemental creation and Brahma's creation. So like that. So now we are going to discuss about these 10 types. The first 6 are summary of what has been happened till now, and the next 4 is Brahma's creation. That is a fresh topic. So that is like that. So just like there is a creation of 10 variety, there is a destruction of 3 varieties. So what are they? Here you see this word clearly. Kala, Dravya, Gune, Rasya, Trivida, Pratisankrama. There are 3 types of destructions. The first one is because of Kala, second one is because of Dravya, third one is because of the Guna. So now we are going to discuss only briefly. In the next chapter, we will discuss this in detail. That the destruction will come in detail in the next chapter. So now let us see. For the same purpose of distinguishing time, 3 types of destruction are described. First one, by time alone, the devastation of all universes happens. After Brahma's 100 years are completed, That is the time measurement. After that, all the universes, they will enter back into Prakriti. Prakriti will enter back into Mahavishnu. The complete annihilation will take place after the end of 100 years of Brahma. So this is that specific to the time only. It will not happen before that. So with respect to time, it happened. That's why it is mentioned. With respect to Kala, this destruction is explained. Second one is happening because of Dravya. What do you mean by the Dravya? The daily destruction at the end of Brahma's day by the fire of Sankarshana and other factors such as Dravya and other factors such as water, etc. So now what we are discussing today, like Brahmaji, early in the morning he got up, he appeared from the lotus, that means he got up and he got 4 heads, he performed tapasya, he had darshan of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he offered prayers, and then he again performed tapasya, and then he is supposed to begin the creation. So then what he did? He divided the lotus into 14 divisions. And then he also manifest the various bodies for various living entities. Okay? This all happens early in the morning. And throughout the day, the 14 lokas with different living entities is maintained by Lord Vishnu, Shurudaksha Vishnu. At the end of the day, evening around 6 p.m., it is Lord Shiva will destroy. How Lord Shiva will destroy? Lord Sankarshana, who is holding the entire Bhumandala, he becomes angry. He says that I am holding the Bhumandala so that you human beings practice bhakti and go back to Godhead. You all living entities practice bhakti and go back to Godhead. But you people are so adamant that you are engaged in sense gratification, you don't want to go back to Godhead. Lord Sankarshana becomes angry. He was angry throughout the day also, but he controls his anger. Okay. So maybe next time, maybe next time, maybe next time, maybe next time. But by the evening, he becomes very angry. At that time, from his Brukuti comes 11 Rudras. 11 Rudras with 3 eyes. The 11 Rudras, they open third eye. From the third eye comes huge fire. That fire burns Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Sargaloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Tarasatala, Patala. Like that, the 10 lokas are burnt by the fire. So first by fire. And then there is a huge rain. Because of that rain, the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Sargaloka, they are all submerged into Garbhodaka ocean. Everything is annihilated. That happens by Dravya. Dravya indicates primarily fire and water. These two elements. So I've already mentioned this is what is there in the next chapter. This is what happens at the end of Brahma's day. In the next Brahma's day. In the next day morning, again the lotus comes out of the navel of Brahma, and Brahma divides that lotus and creates 14 planetary systems. And at the end of the day at the end of Brahma's day, Lord Shiva will burn the below 10 planets and upper planets apne aap pani mein doob jate. So like that 14 lokas, the entire lotus will enter into water again. Next day morning it will come out of water from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. This is a regular phenomenon that happens. And this is by Dravya. And the third one, the common destruction through the consumption of the body by an individual action, guna. Guna and karma, based on our guna and karma, we live for at max 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, good fortune plus 100 plus. That's all. We have to die. This is our daily death daily death that we see all around us. So it is like that. So this third one is called Nitya Pralaya, the daily whatever you see. Second one is called Naimitika Pralaya, which happens at the end of the Brahma's day. And the first one is called Prakritika Pralaya, which happens at the end of Brahma's 1 and a lifespan, because their entire Prakriti is being destroyed. Similarly, whatever Sarga that has been created by Mahavishnu, that is called Prakritika Srishti. So Mahavishnu creates all the universes from Prakriti, that is called Prakritika Srishti. And every day morning, whatever Brahma does, that is called a Naimitika Srishti, because Brahma himself is doing, that is also called Visarga. Lord Vishnu's creation is also called Sarga. And whatever is happening, that birth in all of your grosas, in your family, there is birth is happening every now and then. That is called Nitya Srishti. The creation done by all the living entities. Not only human beings, but the animals, plants, everything, wherever. So one generation leading to another generation, next generation. That is called Nitya Srishti. So this is how the 3 divisions have been indicated by time. Everything is happening by the influence of time only. Yes.
Hare Prakritika Srishti is by Supreme
Mahavishnu.
Personality, Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu. So whatever has been discussed till now, till the previous chapter, that is all Prakritika Srishti. So what we are discussing in this chapter, that will be called Naimitika Srishti. And whatever is happening around us, that is called Nitya Srishti. The birth of children, the human children, animal children, plant children, etc. That is called Nitya Srishti. And their death is called Nitya Pralaya. And the destruction caused by Lord Sankarsana and 11 Rudras is called Naimitika Pralaya. And the destruction of the entire material creation is called Prakritika Pralaya, which happens after the lifespan of Brahmaji. So this is, in general, this is how the time functions. This is how time performs all the activities around us. So like that. So now, in the next 3 verses, there is a discussion about the 6 elemental creations, which is called Sarga or Prakritika Srishti or primary creation, which is done by Mahavishnu, which is already mentioned. It is briefly summarized. And from the 4th shloka onwards, Brahma's creation will be talked about. That is the main topic of this chapter. Adyastu Mahata Sargo
Adyastu mahata sargo
Guna Vaishamyam Atmana
guna vaishamya atmana
Dvitiyastu Ahamo Yatra
iti yastav ahamu yatra
Dravya Jnana Kriyodaya.
dravya jnana kriyodaya. Translation of 9 creation, the first one is the creation of Mahatattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients, wherein the modes of interact due to the presence of Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activity arises. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, the first creation is the creation of the Mahatattva, or the sum total of material ingredients, in which there is a disturbance of the gunas caused by the Lord's glance. So, when Mahavishnu wanted to create, Prakriti comes out of his skin pores. Prakriti consisting of 3 gunas, Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamaguna. They are in equilibrium state. Then Mahavishnu, glancing upon Prakriti, he impregnates her with Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti. Kala, Karma, Swabhava and Jiva. By the interaction of this Kala Shakti and Jiva Shakti with the 3 modes, the 3 modes becomes activated. First of all, mode of goodness becomes activated. From that, there comes Mahatattva. And eventually, in due course of time, mode of passion, mode of ignorance becomes activated. Then there comes Ahankara. So the first creation is Mahatattva. The second creation is the creation of Ahankara, from which the 5 gross elements, knowledge senses, sensei, devatas, mind, and the action senses are all generated. So the first creation by Lord Vishnu is Mahatattva. The second creation by Lord Vishnu is the creation of Ahankara. So like that. The first is the imbalance of the gunas characterized by the appearance of Mahatattva, instigated by the Lord. The second creation, that in which there is the appearance of Ahankara, from which arises the 5 gross elements, the knowledge senses, sense devatas, and mind and the action senses. From Ahankara only we saw that how mind, sense devatas, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, and pancha tanmatras and 5 pancha mahabhutas all appeared. So that Ahankara has been produced by Lord's intervention. So the first creation by Lord is Mahatattva, second creation by Lord is Ahankara. Then what are the next creations? They are mentioned in the next verses. Bhuta sarga strutiyastu tanmatro dravya shaktiman chaturta aindriya sargo yastu jnana kriyatmakaha. Please read the translation.
Translation. The sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from these, the elements are generated. The fourth creation is the creation of knowledge and of working capacity.
The third creation of matter is that of the tanmatras. So from tamasic ahankara, there appears 5 tanmatras. From the 5 tanmatras comes the 5 panchamahabhutas. That is basically first comes sound. From sound comes ether. Then comes sparsha. From sparsha comes air. Then comes form, rupa. From rupa comes fire. And then comes rasa. From rasa comes water. Finally comes gandha. From gandha comes earth. Like that, first 5 tanmatras appear. From 5 tanmatras, the pancha mahabhutas appear. This is happening from tamasic ahankara. This is the called third creation. So the third creation of matter is the creation of tanmatras, which have the power to produce 5 pancha mahabhutas. That is fine. The fourth creation is that of the knowledge and action senses. From rajasic ahankara, there comes intelligence, prana, 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. All these are produced from rajasic ahankara, and this is the fourth creation. The third creation of matter is that of the tanmatras, which have the capacity to produce gross elements. The fourth creation is the senses, the senses which consist of knowledge acquiring senses and action senses. Now the fifth and sixth are mentioned in the 17th verse. Vaikariko devasarga panchamo yanmayam manaha shashtastu samasa sargo yasva buddhi krita prabho. Please read the translation.
Translation. The
The
fifth
fifth creation is that of the controlling deities by the interaction of the mode of goodness, of which mind is the sum total. The sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entity, by which the master acts as a fool.
Yeah. The fifth is the creation of the sense devatas and the mind. From the sattvic ahankara, there comes mind and the 10 devatas corresponding to the 10 senses, and also the devata corresponding to the mind and intelligence. All these are produced. The sixth creation is the creation of ignorance, which is produced by the avidya shakti of the Lord, which bewilders the jiva. So basically, the whole sarga, the creation of 24 elements, has been summarized in 5 divisions. First is the creation of Mahatattva, second is the creation of Ahankara, third is the creation of Panchamahabhutas and 5 Tanmatras and Panchamahabhutas, fourth is the creation of intelligence, prana, 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas, fifth is the creation of the mind and the mind's deity, intelligence's deity, and the 10 sense devatas, the deities for the 10 senses. So this is all Sarga. But there is one more thing also happened by Mahavishnu. That was not mentioned till now. In the past, it was not mentioned. But now he is kind of summarizing. He is adding the sixth one also. What is the sixth one? These 5 are related to the transformation of Pradhana. So all these 5 are happening by glancing upon Pradhana. From Pradhana only, these 24 elements come. The 24 elements are divided into 5 subgroups. So now the sixth one. Next, the sixth creation, the creation of ignorance. This is a different type of undertaking. This is not like the creations of Ahankara, Mahatattva, etc. This is entirely different. What is the speciality of this one? This was created by the avidya shakti of the Lord, which bewildered the jiva. The speciality of this sixth creation, which is done by avidya shakti, what is its function? It is actually bewildering the jiva. It bewilders the living entity who comes to this material world. How and why is the subject matter of this chapter. So this is one interesting topic. So today we will discuss about this avidya, what is this avidya and how this avidya is manifested through Brahma. That will be mentioned in this chapter and will be elaborated later on in the 12th chapter and 20th chapter. That time also we will again discuss. But here, in a like an introductory way, we will discuss about what is this avidya, how this avidya manifest, how this avidya will bewilder all of us. So at this section, at this point of time, there is something interesting subject matter is mentioned. The meaning is this. Maya, that means Durga Devi, has 3 conditions. Durga Devi, we know her as Maya Devi or Maya Shakti, but she herself has 3 components. What are the 3 components? One is Pradhana, second one is Avidya, third one is Vidya. So now we are going to discuss about all these three. So whatever has been discussed till now is all about Pradhana. What we are discussing in the upcoming verses is about Avidya. What we are going to discuss in the 12th chapter, it is about Vidya. So kindly remember. So let us understand what they are. By Pradhana, the 24 elements from Mahatattva to earth are created. So whatever has been mentioned in the previous three verses. By glancing upon Pradhana, Pradhana means, another name of Pradhana is Gunamaya. Gunamaya means that component of Maya Devi which only contains the three gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So by glancing upon this Gunamaya portion of Prakriti, Mahavishnu creates the 24 material elements starting from Mahatattva all the way up to earth. Okay, the first one is Mahatattva, then second one is Ahankara, then there is mind, there are Devatas, then there is intelligence, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, 5 Tanmatras and 5 Panchamahabhutas. The last element that is being created is earth. The 24 elements are produced from Pradhana. So these are the real creations. These 24 elements are real. They are not illusory. Like Mayavadis say, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, it is not Mithya. They are actually Satya. These are real creations by which the aggregate, the entire universe and our individual bodies, the entire universal body and all our individual bodies are created with gross and subtle bodies. In our body also made up of 24 material elements. Out of 24, the 10 elements are forming gross body, 14 elements are forming subtle body. The 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 4 Antakaranas are forming our subtle body. And 5 Tanmatras and 5 Panchamahabhutas are forming our gross body. Similarly, the universe also has a gross body and subtle body. They are also made up of the same 24 elements only. That is the understanding. Next, the second one is Avidya. By Avidya, which bewilder the Jiva, 5 types of ignorance, Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha, are created. These are not real. They can't see the contrast. The 24 elements are real, but the 5 elements of Avidya are not real. They are called Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. So we will be discussing about these 5 things elaborately in the 12 chapter, 2nd verse. But just for the information now, I will tell you what they. So why they are, how they are bewildering us, I'll tell you. So when Jiva in the spiritual world, he understands that he is an eternal fragmental part of the Supreme Lord and he is eternally devoted to the Supreme Lord. He is eternally subservient to the Supreme Lord. Jivera Sarupai Krishna Nityadas. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loka Jiva Sanadana. So every living entity in the spiritual world is always in this knowledge. They are Paramatma Samsha, they are Lord Samsha, and they are Lord's devotee and Lord's Das. That is always remembered there. But as soon as the Jiva comes to this material world, first of all, what happens? Avidya. One forgets this knowledge. Forgetful of this knowledge is called Avidya. We forget that we are an Amsha of the Supreme Lord. We forget that we are a devotee of the Supreme Lord. We forget that we are a Dasa of the Supreme Lord. Krishna or Nityadas. That we forget. But after forgetting that, we get a different identity. That is called Asmita. Our Asmita is with respect to the body in which we are living. Currently, generally our identity is I am a human being. And within that human being also we have so many other identities. I am a male, I am a female, I am a brahmachari, I am a grasta, I am mother, I am father, I am grandmother, I am grandfather, I am an engineer, I am doctor, I am uncle, I am this, I am that, I am youthful, I am old. So there are so many other distinctions are also there. But the principal identity is, as of now, I am a human being. Whether one is a male, female, youthful or old, whatever it is, all of us are human beings. At other time, we have an identity called I am an animal. At other time, we have an identity called I am Devata. So that is Asmita. The body in which we are living, based on that, we get an identity that is called Asmita. First of all, we have forgot our original identity. Second, we got a new identity. And second thing, in that condition, we develop friends with some people. Our family members, friends and relatives, they are all helping us doing our sense gratification happily. So we develop attachment to them. We want to have them with us always. We want to live with them for the rest of eternity. That's what Raga. So, but not only people, even with the objects, our vehicle, our home, our land, our bank balance, but just the way we want to have something or some person with us, somebody else also may want to have the same person or same thing, same object. So there is a competition. Then there is a enmity between both of them. Dvesha, enmity between, if the two people want same thing, there is enmity. In the movies, we see triangle love stories. In villages and in cities also, we see the property issues. Even though brothers, they fight for the property because both of them want the same property. There is enmity between them. Dvesha. Basically, those who are helping us, in our sense gratification, we develop attachment to them. We make friends with them. Those who are causing obstacle in our sense gratification, we develop enmity towards them. That is dvesha. And subconsciously, we all know that there is something called death. Death means full stop to my sense gratification. So there is a fear of death, and simultaneously, before death comes, let me enjoy as much as possible. जितना हो सके उतना मजा मस्ती करूं मृत्यु आने के पहले. That is called abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means complete absorption in sense gratification out of fear of death. So it is like that. So because of these five things, we are bewildered. So we have forgotten our original identity. We are having a different identity with respect to our body, and we make friends with those people who are helping in our sense gratification. If somebody is causing disturbance in our sense gratification, we have developed enmity with them, and we understand that there is something called death. So before death comes, let me do as much as possible, as much sense gratification as possible. So while doing so, we perform sinful activities. As a result of that, we are supposed to take birth again and again in this material world. That's why we are bewildered by these five things. We are bewildered by this avidya potency of Maya, which actually bewilders us and binds us in this material world. We transmit from one species to other species because of this avidya. So, but this avidya is not real. It is not real because it does not exist in the spiritual world. It is not real because we can cut it one day. We can destroy it within us in one day. That's why it is not real. A real thing cannot be destroyed, but a non-real thing can be destroyed. So in that way, the world composed of real and unreal is produced by pradhana and avidya. The entire our personality is a combination of both pradhana and avidya. Our body, subtle body, gross body are given by pradhana. Our conception, our understanding that I'm a human being, I'm a male, I'm engineer, I'm this, I'm that, I'm brahmachari, grihastha, mother, father. This conception is given by avidya. So the entire universe is existed because of pradhana and avidya. So it is like that. And next one, third component of Maya is Vidya. Vidya means knowledge, which destroys the five types of ignorance. It is also created. Vidya consists of karma, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, tapasya, vairagya, and bhakti. So we'll discuss in great detail about this in the next chapter, 12th chapter that will come. 12th chapter is all about Vidya only. That time we'll get more details. But basically, when we are bewildered by these five functions of avidya, we can enlightened, we can come out of the repeated cycle of birth and death only by taking shelter of Vidya. What is Vidya? Taking shelter of karma, Nishkama karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, tapasya, vairagya, and bhakti yoga. All these six things can help us come out of the bewilderment of avidya shakti of Maya Devi. This will be explained later in the commentary. That is SB 32533 and teachings of Lord Kapila. So the more details of what is Karma Yoga, how to practice it, what is Jnana Yoga, how to practice it, what is Ashtanga Yoga, how to practice it, all these are already mentioned in 32533 teachings of Lord Kapila. So we are going to discuss them in detail. What are they and how to practice and all in this particular section. If you remember in the beginning of this third canto, in the 5th chapter, we said that the third canto basically talks about creation. But the creation has two aspects. One is the process of creation. The process of creation is all explained how the Pradhana and Avidya Shakti are manifesting the universe and the people in the universe. These both are talking about the process of creation. The third one is Vidya Shakti. This is talking about the purpose of creation. What is the purpose of creation? Even though we have some material desires, fulfill all those material desires in a bona fide way. practicing karma yoga, following the principles of karma yoga, known as Sakama karma yoga. But the main principle, main purpose of human being, human existence in this material world is to go back home, back to Godhead by taking shelter of one of these 6 sadhanas. That is the purpose of universal creation. So that will be discussed in the second half of the third canto. So this is like that. So this is how these things are mentioned. So we need to have some basic understanding of these three. So then there is no confusion. We say that Maya is bewildering us, Maya is binding us. How Maya is binding us? Maya is binding us because by Avidya Shakti. And Maya facilitating performance of all our activities by Pradhana. And the third component of Maya, that is Vidya Shakti, that also facilitates us to come out of the material bondage. So it is like that. Any questions till now?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
No problem.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you explained that this avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, and we also heard about the tamishra, tamishra, and all those 5 layers of ignorance. So are they same or different?
Same. They are also same, but they are called with different names. This avidya, asmita, these are the different names of the same. Tamas, tamishra, andatamishra, moha, mahamoha, etc. They are same, but they are called with different names.
Okay, and here Bhakti is also mentioned under categorized under Vidya, but usually we say Bhakti is transcendental to Vidya itself also, right?
Yes, that is a good question. I did not tell about it intentionally. Here, Vidya is basically this Bhakti is all about mixed Bhakti. Bhakti mixed with some Karma Yoga and some Jnana Yoga. The pure Bhakti without any mixture of Karma or Jnana is transcendental. Because Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Vairagya, Tapasya, these are all part of Sattva Guna only. When Bhakti is also mixed with them, it becomes part of Vidya. So this Bhakti will give us deliverance from samsara. It will not enable us to enter into spiritual world. To enter into spiritual world, anyone has to practice Ananya Bhakti without any mixture of karma jnana. Then only one will enter into spiritual world or Brahman. That concept will it is already discussed in our Bhagavad Gita. Also, we discussed in 18th chapter, and in teachings of Lord Kapila also we'll discuss later on.
Okay, so here it is a mixed Bhakti.
Yeah, this is a Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Mishra Bhakti.
Okay.
Any other devotees have any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji.
No.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now we'll have a couple of slides to establish this. What is this Vidya? What is this Avidya? What is this Pradhana? How are they belonging to Supreme Lord? A brief details which are mentioned at various places in the Bhagavatam. I can put them in sequence. We'll read them and then we'll close for today. Then starting from 18th verse onwards, we will discuss in the next class. So today we'll discuss a little bit about this Pradhana, Vidya and Avidya. How these three components are belonging to Maya. So that is that's what we'll discuss today. Vidya Vidye Mamatanu Viddi Uddhava Sharirinam Moksha Bandha Kari Adya Maya Me Vinirmite. So this is verse spoken by Lord Krishna to Uddhava in Uddhava Gita 11th canto. Oh Uddhava, understand that Vidya and Avidya are my Shaktis. They are created by my Maya. Okay, Lord is telling they are my Shaktis, but they are created by Maya. That means they belong to Maya and Maya belongs to me. They are created by Maya are without beginning, and these are without beginning. They are always there. Vidya produces liberation, Avidya produces bondage for the embodied beings. Avidya, these 5 functions of Avidya binds us, and the 6 functions of Vidya will liberate us. It is like that. Medical scriptures, that means Ayurveda, they also says that Pumsho Stri Prakritir Nitya. The Prakriti of the Lord is eternal. Like Maya, her modes, Vidya and Avidya, are also eternal. Prakriti is eternal. When Prakriti is eternal, Prakriti's components, Pradhana, Avidya, and Vidya, is also eternal. They are also eternal in that sense. Next. Pradhana creates the covering called as Upadhi, the subtle and gross bodies. So Pradhana gives us our gross body and subtle body, which are real. Avidya creates the imposition of the body, Adhyasa, which is false. Adhyasa means you can take it as Dhyasa. What do you understand Dhyasa? Dhyasa means what? In Telugu we have a word Dhyasa. But in your language also you must be having Dhyasa also. In your mother tongue, what do you mean by Dhyasa? Even in Hindi also you can think of. Hare Krishna.
Continuously working for some purpose.
Concentration, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Concentration, continuously working about something. In our Telugu, Dhyasa means उनके बारे में सोचना हमेशा, उसके बारे में सोचते रहना, that is called ध्यासा. So हम हमेशा किसके बारे में सोचते रहते? Normally.
Krishna.
Okay.
Our own self.
You are a great devotee. Thank you very much. We offer obeisance to your lotus feet. But in general, not only the devotees, in general, we human beings always think about what?
How
About
to
money.
Family,
catch those
wealth,
Our own self or our own interest.
Don't go into that. We think about our body
How
only.
to enjoy.
We think about our body. We think about how to give enjoyment to our body. Because we think that we are the body, so we think about how to enjoy. So here we means people in general. So as soon as person gets up, what do you want? Bed coffee, bed tea, then breakfast, then after going to office, tea, then there before that breakfast is there, then there tea, there is lunch, evening snacks, again there is dinner, evenings, okay, today we'll go to this restaurant, this weekend we'll go to that restaurant. So there is always constant exploration, and always there is again when season comes, let us purchase this clothes, that clothes, the raiment, this, that, this vehicle, that vehicle, this glasses, that glasses. It's like that always. The whole life is goes after what should I give? What I should give to my body? How can I pamper my body? How can I give luxury to my body? This is what is our dhyasa. This happens by because of avidya. So avidya creates imposition of the body, which is false. So we think we are the body. We are our body. Even we being devotees also, at least I can watch for me, most of our time is devoted to our body only than being Krishna conscious. Maybe some of you might be thinking about Krishna, but people like me are still thinking about the body only. Always there is some pain, stomach pain, this pain, that pain, not enough sleep, not this, not that. Always worried about that only.
Very true. Very true.
And morning breakfast, afternoon lunch, dinner. So kya milega, kya rahega, what is the menu today? It's like that. Even when festival comes, we 2 days before only we want to know what is the menu on the festival. So it's all about the body. Even, of course, grossly speaking about the gross body, thoda upar jayega to subtly. Some people are about subtle concepts. So all of you are working outside. You also think about your office work. So what work is to be done and what is to be done and which project is going to come and all this, that, how to do it, how to execute that. That is also bodily conscious. That is the consciousness of subtle body. We are employing our mind, intelligence, etc., etc. There, so our senses. So there, the subtle body is. We are in the subtle body conscious. That is also bodily conscious. So we cannot say that that is superior to bodily conscious. That is also part of bodily conscious. We only have to tagline gross body conscious, subtle body conscious. That's all. So ultimately, we do all this. Primarily, we are focused on this. But having become devotees and we are getting trained, so we need to divert our consciousness from body to Krishna slowly, slowly. So that's what we are supposed to be trained. So in that way. So then, Vidya destroys that false identity. These are the three products of the three aspects of Maya. It is only when we begin to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, we try to understand or we try to work upon on the platform of soul. That's why in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, first of all, Lord Krishna talks about the distinction between the body and soul. Only when we understand the distinction between body and soul, then only the practice of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga makes sense. Without understanding that I am the soul, I am not the body, our practice of Bhakti or our practice of Jnana, Ashtanga Yoga or Karma Yoga have no meaning. The basement, the premise is, first of all, we should understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. We may not be able to live on that platform continuously, but basic understanding should be there. Without that basic understanding, whatever sadhana we may practice, that sadhana will not lead anywhere. So it is like that. So the first responsibility of Vidya is to educate us that we are not the body, we are neither the gross body nor the subtle body, but we are the spirit soul. So in order to realize that we are spirit soul, we need to practice sadhana. And we need to realize our the connection of the spirit soul to the supreme spirit soul, the supreme spirit super soul. We need to practice bhakti. For these two purposes, we need to practice bhakti or other sadhanas. For that matter, even Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, they all aid in that particular aspect. So that is the understanding. You are following? I'm not confusing, na?
No problem.
Thank you. And there was a verse mentioned in the second canto 6th chapter. It is long time हो गए आप लोग भूल गए होगा स्त्री विचक्रमे विश्वन शासनानासने उभे यद विद्या च अविद्या च विद्या च पुरुषस्तुभयाश्रया. It is said that the jiva qualified by ignorance and knowledge wanders on two paths. One is for attaining enjoyment. So being bewildered by avidya, that is ignorance, we run here and there for enjoyment. And having taken shelter of vidya, we work for liberation through vidya and bhakti. The Lord is the shelter of both paths. It is the Lord who maintains all of us. We may be a devotee, we may be a sadhaka, or we may be a non-sadhaka, but it is the responsibility of the Lord to maintain all of us. Stri Vichakrame Vishwan means the jiva is continuously wandering in this material world. But there are two wanderings. If we are under the shelter of avidya, we wander from one species to other species in order to enjoy sense gratification. But if we are under the shelter of vidya, we wander from one loka to other loka and our path back to Godhead. Sometimes we may directly go to spiritual world. Sometimes we gradually elevate from human species to Gandharva, Gandharva to Kinnara, Kimpurusha, Vidyadhara, then to the Devatas, then to the Pitrus, then to the Devatas, and then to the Rishis, and then to spiritual world. So both are possible. Sometimes we may directly go to spiritual world, sometimes we may gradually go to spiritual world, passing through all the upper species one after the other. That is also possible under the shelter of Vidya. So like that. The various objects around us are created by Pradhana. Our body, our home, our table, our computer, our laptop, our mobile, our water bottle, everything has been created by Pradhana. They are real. The imposition of identity with the bodies by the Jiva is created by Avidya. Our thinking that I am the human being, I am mother, I am father, that is all because of Avidya. That is unreal. Vidya destroys that identity with the body. So by taking shelter of Vidya, we understand that Jivara Sarupai Krishna Nityadas, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. This understanding will get it from Vidya. And by practicing the same Vidya, we'll realize it one day. And we also realize Bhagavan. But Vidya only gives us the realization of Atma Sakshatkar. Till then, Vidya ends. Afterwards, we need to practice pure bhakti, unalloyed bhakti without any mixture of karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and jnana, vairagya, other things. Only when we practice pure bhakti, nirguna bhakti, then we will realize the supreme personality of Godhead. But Vidya will give us Atma Sakshatkar. So like that. So Vidya destroys the identity with the body. These are the effects of the three Shaktis. This is from 10th canto 87 chapter. The prayers offered by the Vedas personified. So there it is mentioned about this. The world is made up of these three. Part of which is Pradhana and Avidya is true and part is untrue. The Pradhana and Vidya are true. From the spiritual point of view, Pradhana and Vidya will take us back to Godhead. That's why they are true. And the apart, Avidya is untrue because it is binding us. So in that way, it is treated as untrue. Basically, to indicate that we are supposed to take shelter of truth, not untruth. In that way, the categorization has been made. And then there is one more verse from where I don't remember where is this verse, but it says that the products of Pradhana and Vidya are real. The products of Avidya are false. Those things related to the Lord and devotion are eternal. These three constitute the universe. Pradhana, Vidya, and Avidya constitute the universe, but those things connected to the Lord and Bhakti are eternal. Those things are not connected to the Lord are temporary and they cause binding. So basically, Pradhana plus Vidya becomes real and eternal. Pradhana plus Avidya becomes temporary and illusory. So in that way, the bodies of the Jiva are the products of Pradhana and their nature is Avidya. If the Jiva's bodies are related to the Bhakti by Vidya, then they transcend the gunas. So normally Pradhana is Jada. It is only giving us the body. The way we want to use, we can use it. But when we take shelter of Avidya, we use it for sense gratification. When we take shelter of Vidya, we use our body for spiritual activities or spiritual progress. So in that way. So here is one more verse from, I don't know where it is. The Lord is independent, a notion of consciousness, Chit Sindhu, and all pervading, Sarva Vyapeka. The Jiva is dependent, Adina. La Jiva is always dependent on the Supreme Lord. A particle of consciousness, Chit Kana. The Supreme Lord Chit Sindhu and Swatantra. The Jiva is Adina and Chit Kana. And Jiva is subjected to mistaking his identity. Swa Upadi. We develop Upadi after Upadi. That's why Narada Pancharatra says that Sarva Upadi Vinirmukta Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Sarva Upadi Vinirmukta. Currently we have a Upadi. Our Upadi is I am a human being. In the next life we may have another Upadi. I am a Asura, I am a Gandharva, I am a Kinnara, I am a Devata, I am an animal, I am a dog, I am a cat. We may get different Upadi. But we need to give up that Upadi and engage wholeheartedly in the service of Supreme Lord. Then only our Bhakti will manifest. Pure Bhakti will manifest. It's like that. So subjected to mistaking his identity. We develop Upadi after Upadi. Even within this human life also, we have so many hundreds of Upadis. When we are small kid, we say, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm a school girl, school boy, college girl, college boy, teenager, I'm a youth, I'm married, I'm wife, husband, I'm father, mother, I'm grandfather, grandmother. And then when you are working in a company, I'm a junior engineer, senior engineer, general manager, senior assistant manager. So like that, so many upadhis we have. These are all because of avidya only. Subject to mistaking his identity and pervasive with lamentation, pervasive with limitation. They are many number. The jivas are many and they are covered with ignorance and we are all covered by avidya. And sometimes have ignorance removed. Sometimes when we take shelter of vidya, our avidya will be removed. So it is like that. Maya has three divisions. The unconscious material substance, Achit Pradhana. So Pradhana has no consciousness. That's why it is called unconscious material substance, Jada Pradhana. The second one is ignorance, Avidya. Third one is knowledge or Vidya. So these are the three things which are there in this universe around us. So this is the verse our Prabhuji was mentioning. Jai Gauranga Prabhu was telling that Sasarjagri and the Tamishram Adikrit Mahamoham cha Moham cha Tamas cha Jnana Vritya. This is a verse from 12th chapter 2nd verse. The same thing is again mentioned in 20th chapter 18th verse. Sasarja Chaya Avidyayam Pancha Parvana Magrata Tamishram and the Tamishram Tamo Moha Mahatama. They are the five things. The same five things are mentioned in a different name here. Brahma first created the ignorance of five types by his shadow. Tamas, Moha, Mahamoha, Tamishram, and the Tamishram. Because false identity must arise in the jivas. Without ignorance, this is not possible. Basically, when we become human beings, we should think as human beings. Otherwise, there is chaos in the society. Every living entity, whoever they are supposed to think themselves as they are. Otherwise, there is a chaos in the society. In creating Yakshas, Rakshasas, Devatas, and humans, false identity must arise in the jivas. Within ignorance, without ignorance, this is not possible. Thus, first, the functions of ignorance appeared on their own through Brahma. Though Lord Vishnu created these five things, five functions of ignorance, but Lord Brahma uses them and gives us a material disposition. Having put us in the human body, he says that, okay, you are a human being now, live like a human being. So like that. So this is the final slide. Please read through. Tamas or avidya means ignorance of the swarupa of the jiva. We forget about who we really are. Moha or asmita means egoism or false identity with the body. So based on the body in which we are living, we develop a particular identity. Mahamoha or raga, attachment or applying possessiveness to those objects or people who are giving us enjoyment. Tamishram or dvesha means repulsion or hatred appears when one's enjoyment is obstructed. Andhatamishram or abhinivesha, fear of death or absorption in material pleasure before death comes. So not present in the jiva, these were created by avidya. These are two shades of maya. These five functions of avidya are nothing but the two shades of maya. We say na, maya has two shades. One is avarnatmika shakti, dusra prakshepatmika shakti. Avarnatmika shakti means covering potency. Prakshepatmika shakti means illusory potency. So of the five, avidya is avarnatmika shakti and remaining four are prakshepatmika shakti. Avidya means it will forget us who we really are. And prakshepa means prakrusha rupena ikshate. It will give us a different vision. So from that vision only, we start seeing. One example is given when we go to movie theater, where before the movie starts, they'll switch off all the lights. So when we go into the movie theater, when all the lights are switched off, we forget who we really are. Who are outside the theater hall, we forget that. Then there is a light comes that projects the movie on the screen. While the movie is going on, we start identifying with some role in the movie. There may be some emotional scene, there may be some other scene, this, that, action scene, or anything like that. So we tend to identify with that person, and we also express those emotions. If some emotional scene is there, we also cry, we also have tear drops. When there is some tragedy, some difficulty, we become very angry and we take the role of the hero and start hitting the villain, etc. etc. We actually identify with the role in that movie. That is what is happening now. So we have forgotten who we really are, and we are identifying ourselves as a human being, and whatever is happening surrounding us, and we are deeply involved in that. And sometimes we go through emotions, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, sometimes we fight. So ये सब करते रहते हैं. These are all because of avidya. A big movie is going on here. A long movie of 60 years. Normally movie lasts for 3 hours, but our movie lasts for 60 years. So in that movie, you go through different stages of life. So this is all because of avidya shakti of Maya. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Sorry for keeping you late. I just wanted to see this Vidya, Maya, etc. Hope I did not confuse you. Some idea about this actually it is really good because we are not confused what is what in the future when we study Bhagavatam. I request all of you to go through the slides once again afterwards so that you will not forget these concepts immediately. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here for today. Thank you very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna,
Jai.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So wishing you all a
Thank
very
you,
very
Prabhuji.
happy and Krishna conscious Janmashtami, which is just ahead in few days, and we'll meet again on next Sunday.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.